Welcome along to Tenacious Be. I am your host, Ashley Bentley, and we are right in the middle of Zen and the Art of the Mind. I'm really excited about today's episode. We have Alexander from Healing Meditation Music. So those of you who are familiar with my recordings, my meditations, my yoga nidras, the beautiful backing tracks that accompany those recordings are provided by our guest today. He's a fascinating subject with a very interesting life. And we're going to talk about all sorts of things today, including music, how he creates music, and what music is actually doing to the mind and the body. But we'll also be exploring some other stories about his life and his intuitive nature, his ability to help heal others. It's a really fascinating discussion, so I know you're going to enjoy it. Now, I also teased something recently in a post on social media about the upcoming series that we're going to be doing. So, Zen and the Art of the Mind isn't going anywhere. We're not finishing with it. We've got another episode next month, and then it's going to be taking a little bit of a break because we will be starting a new series on psychedelics called Tune Out, Turn On, and Drop In, a little play on the old phrasing from the 60s. Things are different now. We're having a real renaissance with psychedelics. Modern science is confirming what many have known for a very long time. So I'm really excited to dive into that subject with you coming up. And I'll be posting more information on that. So stay tuned. I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's podcast, Integrative Coaching, Breathwork, and Hypnotherapy. This is my hypnotherapy business. So if you would like to work with me, either one-to-one, or I also do corporate work, please feel free to get in touch. integrativeiom.co.uk is the website address, and all the other details of my socials and contact information you can find in the description below. So without further ado, let's get started with this episode. Welcome along, everybody, to the Tenacious Be podcast. I am your host, Ashley Bentley, and we are right in the middle of Zen and the Art of the Mind, where we are looking at the intersection of arts and mental health. And I'm really excited about our guest today. Let me introduce you. I am so pleased to welcome to Tenacious Be the incredibly talented Alexander Voloshin. Now I'll just pause here for a second. Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah.
Yay, good. Alexander is not just a composer and multi-instrumentalist. He is a true maestro in the realm of music production, with over 2 decades of experience spanning various genres. But that is just the beginning of his remarkable journey. Under the alias Healing Meditation Music, Alexander has embarked on a mission to create ambient soundscapes infused with Solfeggio frequencies and binaural beats. These ethereal compositions are more than just music. They are powerful tools for meditation, yoga, sleep, and healing. With his music licensed and embraced by countless teachers worldwide, Alexander's creations have touched the lives of millions, accumulating over 10 million streams across social media platforms. Yet Alexander's artistry goes beyond mere sound. From the moment he entered this world, he possessed a heightened intuition, a gift that he has honed and expanded through years of energy practices and meditation. Through his profound understanding of vibration, mindset, and energy flow, Alexander infuses his compositions with a transformative essence, guiding listeners on a journey of inner exploration and healing. So please join me in welcoming Alexander Voloshin, a visionary and intuitive artist of energy and music whose passion for healing knows no bounds and whose creative spirit continues to inspire and uplift us all. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. It's a great pleasure to be on your podcast.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, I'm just going to tell the listeners a little bit about how we found each other, because where are you? Where am I speaking to you? Where are you right now in the world?
In Slovenia.
Slovenia, right? Okay. So when I got started on my recording journey in terms of, well, I've been recording my voice for many decades, but I only started doing yoga nidras and guided meditations in 2021. And I was looking for background music to play for these yoga nidras and guided meditations. And I found you. I found you on YouTube, and I thought, oh my God, these are gorgeous, gorgeous songs. And so I purchased the rights to use them, and then I was running into all sorts of difficulties with YouTube, and I messaged you to see, oh, is there something I'm doing wrong? And you have saved the day so many times with me. You've taught me so much over the last few years in terms of how to get your recorded guided meditations out there, how to deal with the various different social media platforms out there. You really have a lot of knowledge. But what I really loved is we had a Zoom call a few months ago where we decided to collaborate. So I was using your music and we were using my voice, and we had a Zoom call and we were waiting for something to upload, weren't we? And so I thought, well, let's just get to
Yeah,
know each other. And then I
absolutely.
found out that you've led such an interesting life, and you have just been sort of you've touched all corners of all sorts of different things, not just with music, but with healing. And so yeah, I just want to talk about everything. We only have an hour today, so we'll
Yeah.
try and see what we can do. I mean, if it goes over an hour, we're fine there. But so I would love for you to first off sort of explain how music came into your life, and because I know you had a band when you were younger, but how did that grow into your profession and into what you're doing now?
Yeah, music has been with me from the very young age. Actually, it started as it mostly starts with kids.
Yeah.
Okay, Alexander, my parents asked, do you want to play some instrument? Oh, yes, it would be cool. We went to music school. I have finished, but going through education, it was too much overwhelming for me in theory, music theory. And when teachers gave us some scores to play, some composers, most of the time it wasn't the music that we children wanted to play to play
Yeah.
ourselves. This is the classic situation. And even though initially music was totally my thing, and I've been one of the greatest students of my teacher, but it just didn't go. I was bored, I was not interested, and this overwhelming theory, we were thinking, what is it for?
Yeah.
What's the purpose of overloading so complicated, so much stuff going on? And then my father, he has noticed that I was losing interest, and he has seen that I wanted to play some music I heard on TV, radio, and everything. And he has bought me first synthesizer. The first one actually he has bought, it was Casio, and he hired a teacher for private lessons to teach me precisely songs I wanted to play.
Nice.
Yeah, and
Way to go,
from then,
Dad.
yeah, it started growing. I got interested, involved, in the first synthesizer, second synthesizer, and then somewhere around the end of school, I already had another Yamaha with 16 tracks and ability to layer the tracks and record the music,
Right.
to lay drums, then some bass, its arrangement. Then as a child, as a person learning these exact things they were trying to teach us in theory, but you learn it through practice.
Right. So you were teaching yourself.
Yeah, teaching yourself. Yes, it's pop music. It's not as complicated as classical. Still, it lacks this diversity of harmonies and everything. But step by step, you're doing, and you're through practice. We learn only.
Yes. Yes.
If we're true to ourselves, then the things that we don't practice, we don't actually know.
Yes. Yes.
Information is one thing, but if you load just information and you learn every letter and able to repeat this doesn't mean that in practice you're equally good. So this started opening my whole world, and then from then on, it's a natural step to band. Since the bands I was listening were also rock bands, rock music, then guitar has been introduced into my life, and actually the first instrument was string instrument.
Right.
So strings were not new to me, so transition to guitar from that ethnic instrument was pretty easy. And then singing has kicked in, and yeah, by my late 20s I have started first, actually the only band. Some members would come in, it was unstable, we were rehearsing and not rehearsing. So on the stage of doing bands, I started learning sound engineering.
Right,
So
right,
we would
right.
come to a recording studio with a lot of knobs, recording gear, mics, everything, and then we would realize that, oh my God, it's one thing doing a rehearsal and playing
Yeah.
live, and it requires a lot more skills to be able to capture this, then to mix, carve the frequencies, to polish things up, to be able to then have, no matter what. Actually, this experience is helping me right now with meditative music as well.
Yeah, yeah,
If
amazing.
it wasn't for, even though it was a totally different genre, totally different vibe, rock things, wow, loud guitar and everything, but this sound engineering part, mixing and putting your idea, polishing it,
Yes,
uh,
yes,
capturing me. So, but with my band, it lasted for maybe 5 years. We did some local gigs. The audience was amazed, but this, if as it was totally my thing, learning and refining my skills on all fields, playing, composition, arrangement, singing, recording, this thing of rock, big rock music, and attention to your persona, and then you need to have actor skills, some
right.
actors
Yes,
and
yes.
everything, and then touring, and this was not my thing. And it was strange for the guys I've been in a band with. We would rehearse, record, I would practice my songwriting skills, everything, but they, okay, let's do a gig, let's. I said, well, you know what, I'm good doing recording. This thing of exposing myself at the middle of the night, going on the stage in some bar where people are drunk. Sometimes where these accidents happen and someone screams at you, yeah, there's a 70% of people, they are really enjoying your music and the atmosphere is good, but my character was like, no, I'd rather capture this, record this experience
Yeah.
on a recording. I'd rather polish it, make it a product, and then it would live separate life.
Right. Yes, yes, yes. You're so right. That is such a that's it's a whole other added layer to a musician. You know, you've got the creating of the music, the learning of the instruments and all of that, but then adding a whole huge layer of then performing in front of people.
Yeah.
And, and I would imagine that probably is an issue for a lot of musicians out there who just think, I'm not interested in that side of things. I want to create, produce, and then, yeah.
Uh, it reminds me of one thing, and actually it is connected to Great Britain. I don't remember in the Beatles, Paul McCartney and John Lennon, one of them, so they also had these different personalities.
Yes.
And their interest was different, but I don't remember either it was Paul or John. One was really enjoying the recording process, and the other one was enjoying also a recording process, but live things. So yes, in some very worldwide known bands, there are things, examples of that.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I would imagine not no, I would imagine Oh, I kind of go back and forth on who it would be. I would imagine probably Paul really enjoyed the performing aspect, and John maybe wanted to focus on the recording, I would
Was
imagine.
more introverted.
Yeah,
Paul
yeah.
McCartney still is this type of charming, charismatic guy. So yeah,
Yes. Yeah, it's how you get your energy, isn't it? It's what inspires you and what keeps you going. And yeah, it's going to be different for everybody, isn't it? So now, were you starting a family at this point? Was this another reason why you didn't want to be sort of in,
yeah,
the touring schedule's got to be pretty grueling.
yeah. And being a singer, the only singer in a band, I was not very comfortable. It's very hard. Vocalists know that since I'm also a trained vocalist. I explored this area as well. And the voice is for a small number of people that are true born vocalists. They are able to tour, to eat unknown food of unknown quality, to be in these smoked bars and still keep their voice apparatus functioning. And so I've had problems with that as well. And on live sets, it was harder for me. I started pushing my voice, so I wasn't as comfortable as a singer at that stage. And this also has added. So by the multitude of factors, I realized, no, this is doing lives is totally not my thing. And yes, it matched that my family has started. So last some song recording and singing performance and recording was in, well, 12 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Then my family has started. I had my first daughter 11 years ago, precisely. And I have transitioned since I knew that this rock life thing was not my thing. I had been working as a composer
Right.
uh,
Right.
back then, even before I started my band. Actually, this is the
Right.
part we have skipped a bit. So
Yes,
I
yes.
as a music composer, I had been already working in computer games industry.
Ah, right, right.
Yeah. So while doing bands for hobby, as a hobby and learning everything, I had been already earning a living by composing music and making sound effects for computer games.
Amazing.
Yeah, this was a separate path. This was sound engineering
Yes.
path. I was the person composing, playing, recording, mixing, doing the whole spectrum of audio editing and everything. And the games with my music and sounds would be released throughout all over the world.
Amazing.
So yeah, and when my band has ended, I've been working in this having a family, being a good father. That I would, my wife, she would sleep. She would be, she would drop, and dead out, and the daughter would start crying in the middle of the night. And I'm being a perceptive person
Yes.
from my early age and having this intuition, this everything, and I've been reacting and feeling to this. So I would be the first one in the middle of the night to feed her. And,
Amazing.
then later on, when my daughter was born, I have been already practicing healing another path of my life. I have
Yes.
Yeah, I had been already, we are jumping a bit, but this is how the life is. Everything is multi-layered and happening at
Yes.
the same time, and you
Absolutely.
growing, and some paths help you understand the other one, and you're getting the 3D picture.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. And I really want to focus on this aspect, actually, this intuitive healing aspect. When did you first know that you had this, and share your journey of how that's helped? Well, I'll let you explain, but I know it became a bit overwhelming at one point. And so yeah, go ahead and explain your story in that regard.
Strangely enough, it was discovered these some abnormalities, we can call them, from the very young age. But in a family, we didn't overpossess around that. It was something my grandfather has discovered that I'm more magnetic than most of the people are.
Oh, wow.
And for some reason, for him, it was the thing only for him. He had made multiple pictures of me holding spoons like that.
Right. Oh, wow.
And he had made a thing out of it. But we are in a family, okay, yeah, so whatever. Yeah, yeah, I can lay a spoon like that and it would hold. Nothing magical. Nothing magical. But if someone would try to repeat and lay a spoon, it would fall.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, we people are different. Yeah, maybe I'm a little bit more energetic than most of you. And then it has stopped. I have grown, nothing special. I knew by the age of my teens, I knew I felt and understood people very quickly.
Right.
It's a natural intuition,
Yeah.
not some super detailed stuff, but it was enough for me to watch and be around someone for 2-3 minutes, talking directly or just watching in school, in a school, in such environment, and I would be able to understand if this feel not, it's not rational, because if we are going purely with rational concepts and everything, then it's, why do you put this person in this? There's not enough information.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
do you come to such conclusions? But I quietly knew that if a person is introverted, extroverted, it feels if a person is from a happy family with more healthy relationships or not. If
Wow.
there's a lot of traumatic experiences and this gets reflected in a behavior, I knew why my schoolmates would act and be crazy, and all this path of early age alcohol consumances and everything. I naturally understood why they are doing it, and it was for me, it's not something extraordinary. I simply knew and felt these things. I knew and learned through life, and I'm still learning how to communicate with people,
Yeah.
how psychology.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not trained, I don't need to. Well, I'm watching a lot of podcasts also as
Yeah.
well of professional psychologists and everything, but I have had health issues.
Mm.
From the early years of my life, I've been overly allergic, and my mother had to deal with this. I was diagnosed with atopic dermatitis.
Mm.
So it's a kind of health allergy. You would eat, for me, even though it's from a scientific standpoint, I'm not allergic to sugar, and I'm not detected as allergic to sugar. But if I, from my childhood and until my 35, when I learned how to heal this thing, I've been allergic. And if I would eat something, some cookie, some ice cream, I would have allergic reaction. It would scratch,
Yeah. Yeah.
unstoppable scratching, uncontrolled, that which you cannot stop. And yeah, I lived with this health condition for 35 years. And as a teen, I would go to, because of that, I would go to a hospital, and they would prescribe me some hormonal cream,
Yeah. Like
some
a steroid cream. They
steroid.
usually, yeah.
I've had also other issues with my left leg. The flexibility in the knee area was compromised. And from school, I knew that if we've had sport lessons, we needed to do some exercises. And some of them I couldn't do My
Right.
flexibility was compromised. As a teen, I didn't know why, but it was like that. And I couldn't sit lotus as well, but lotus is more requiring, a number of people can do. But on my knees, I couldn't even sit down completely. My left knee wouldn't bend.
Right. Wow.
And as I've been sitting, having a family already, working in computer games, so it's 20, my life is now 20 years sitting behind the screen.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a veteran. I need to have a badge, 20 years of in front of the screen. And this has added, of course, since there was a tension already present and it was getting worse. And then on my left leg, sometimes sharp pain would appear.
Mm.
And I also went to the doctor with all these issues that were bothering me. But I'm the kind of person I needed to know why.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
And 2 times I went to the doctors, realizing that there are not the kind of institution to explain me why.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wanted to know and understand the mechanics.
Yeah.
Being also a composer, composers, musicians, they are perceived as this type of flying in the clouds, talking to God or devil, depending on the music genre and everything. But they are not earthly, not grounded,
Mm.
pragmatic people. It luckily, maybe, but maybe for this reason I didn't go to rock because I was more down to earth,
Yeah.
grounded, and I am still pragmatic.
Yeah. Well, and you are a creator and you want to know what has created this illness. You know, if you are
Yeah,
somebody who creates things, you want to know, well, what has created this?
yeah. Why is that precisely on my left leg and not the right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But the doctor would look, examine, I believe in his mind, with all the practical knowledge and with all the theoretical medical knowledge, he had equations running in his head. He would watch and say, okay, do test, do my left leg, does it bend? No, it doesn't bend. How and why? And he would look like that. But I want to learn and understand this and be able to fix this. The answer was do more physical exercises. Oh no, this was not. This
Yeah.
was. I went out and thought either there are two possible outcomes. Either this world isn't just, simply it is wrong, and we can't do anything about it, or there's something missing, and maybe the medical understanding science is not perfect. But since I wasn't getting an answer, and since these issues were bothering me, I realized that I want to explore this side of life,
Yeah.
learn, touch, test, to see what helps, what doesn't help. Driven by this internal, quietly present interest and preparedness to learn, I noticed on the internet, I found that they were holding healers courses, bioenergy, healing practices, everything. And at a certain point, I said, okay, I need to go there. Being a pragmatic person, I'm not that type of guy. But for that specific occasion, I said, I will go there and try and see what they teach. And I went and I didn't regret it.
Amazing. Amazing.
Using
Yes.
energy, but not only that, they would teach us touch, massage the muscles
Yes.
to identify tension, how the posture is affecting. So it was this school, it was trying to give holistic, really, and it did, and it had helped me since I was actively practicing it. My family and having a kid had helped me a ton. I had been practicing healing energy stuff and discovered the helpfulness, and it has improved the life, but still I wasn't yet on my way to tell this thing why my left knee, going back to that question.
Yes, yes.
Energy practices, they didn't help me at the early stage. During 3 years of practice, I was somewhere getting and understanding.
Yes.
uh, and what had helped me is when I had my first child, I would carry her to the fourth floor without elevator.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, and the vertebrae would go off occasionally because of this tension. And because, as I realized back then, because of internal tension
Yes.
I had from the early ages of my life. So there was, my flexibility was compromised, there was internal tension, organs were not on their place. And that's
Mm.
why when you add some weight, or there's an open window and your muscle would be blown, very quickly you get
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and I started back then. I wasn't able to help myself manually because on the back it's hard to reach.
Yeah. Yeah.
And some people advised me to visit one chiro practitioner. The man with two higher medical educations, but he was doing chiro. He helped a lot of people with the more simple approaches, sometimes avoiding operations for
Yeah.
some people, sometimes avoiding taking antibiotics or doing some heavy medical stuff in certain conditions. He would be able to fix this with his hands. And very revealing, since I have come to him already managing my body and energies and understanding things and ready to a certain extent, he had shown me this physical organ, muscle, bones, this perspective very quickly. I realized what he was doing.
Yeah.
We were doing similar stuff at our school, but it wasn't a school for healers per se. It was a school for people wanting to be able to help themselves at first
Yes.
place.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then
We
there
need more
was,
of those.
absolutely, and that's why we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, you can almost sort of look at, when you say, when anyone says getting in tune with yourself, I mean, you can think of your body as an instrument. You tune an instrument, you need to tune your body. You can also think of your body as an entire orchestra with all the different parts, and sometimes something gets off and you need to look at what
Yeah,
instrument is needs tuning.
yeah, and this is the revelation. I came to that several years later when I was already managing my wife's spinal problems myself.
Amazing.
I've been watching her and helping her at home for with two kids now
Yes.
for over 10 years. I'm a health doctor for, if the conditions are sometimes too extreme and if I don't have time, of course, we visit the doctors when these
Yes.
are serious issues. We are not replacing the thing. My point is that it's possible to be able to manage certain things at home very quickly, address the issues, and then this thing doesn't get too extreme to blow off and the fire catches the fire and then you need to go to ambulance several years later. It absolutely is crucial and important to feel the body
Yes.
because it is telling us a lot,
Yes,
a
yes,
lot.
yes. And so often what I find in my own journey and with my clients is over the years, our modern lives and expectations of others and societal expectations cause us to disconnect from our bodies and push feelings down and go, no, I can't feel that right now. I've got to keep doing this. I got to keep producing. And so we get more and more disconnected from our bodies. And, it's interesting hearing your story about your reaction to sugar. And it's almost like it was a sign to let you know how you do have this very, very deep intuitive connection, not just with seeing it in other people, but also within yourself. Yeah,
Yeah,
very
and the true healers are the ones that are able, now having 14 years of practical healing experience, not as a professional. I don't do it for money because I'm doing music for money, and this is my thing. But within a family, uh, some friends occasionally who know about this stuff, they would reach out to me, and sometimes I would help, and people would be, oh my God. Recently there was a mother from our friends here in Slovenia. She has had some problems with her hand. I never saw her. I knew just her son,
right.
but the son knew about abilities, and she didn't believe all this stuff. How can you heal on the distance? Reiki people, if you are watching this right now, I'm one of you. You are facing this type of things from scientific, the science that is proven and stamped and is in the books from 20, 30 years ago. This is impossible.
Yes.
But some people can do it, and some people that don't believe. This son had said, we've sent a photo of you to our friend. He will help with your pain in an elbow, and by looking, by scanning, it's energy.
Yes.
It's not, if you feel energy, if your energy field is awakened, you, even through the distance, you can connect and touch, and it's blending,
Yes.
actual blending. And if your energy field is awakened, not only you see, as psychic people see,
Yes.
it's not only about seeing something, it's about feeling vibrations, energy, and you get a reflection on your body when you come into contact with a sick person. His phantom, so to say, gets, you become one,
Right.
and you feel on your body
Yeah.
where there's negative, when there's a flow out, draining of energy, when there's a health disturbing field, heavy, dense, and it has a vibration.
Mm.
What you have said is precisely on point. It is a sound,
Yeah.
it is energy. Energy and vibration
Yeah.
are the same.
Yes.
Light as well. These are angles of from which we look on one thing which is existing in this world. We can describe it many ways. Some people say, I see. I also see. I saw that she has had problems her down from her knees. It was because of blood. Some organs were not working at their full, so her blood would have more heavy, dense toxins that don't go out. And just by looking at her picture, when they wanted me to heal her elbow, I immediately noticed that this is the thing, not only with her elbow, but she has heavy legs.
Right.
Said
Right.
she had problems with her legs from the lower part. It just jumps on you. When you connect, you feel that.
Yeah.
And you tell it. And no one has told me about her anything before. And as a non-believer, which is good, as a practical, pragmatic person, I also don't believe things until I experience them,
Yes.
until I test, do several tests, see, check my understanding. I thought, oh, she said, oh, she doesn't believe this thing. I said, no problem. This doesn't affect anything. It's good. not to believe what you don't know. And then I said to her son, oh, by the way, I have also felt that she has problems with her legs. He called her and said to her, she was shocked. She said, I have goosebumps. How did he know? This can't be true.
No way.
Yeah. So this is just a
Yeah, yeah. Amazing.
and with her condition, it boils down, and the thing that I needed to discover, and which I wanted to discover about my health condition, and it applies to all the people. We can look at this on different levels. Medical people would say, clean your blood, maybe. Yeah, do some. It's because of kidneys. It is because of that. You need to take. This works. They are addressing the issue
Yes.
from their approved, tested on multiple. It's an industry. They have a row of people, and they need to be able to quickly throw some medical pharmaceuticals to affect their condition. But if we look at a higher level,
Yes.
what is causing this to happen at first place, then everything boils down, or actually goes up, because we are addressing the fundamental issue is about internal tension, energy blockages, tension in the muscles, which draw organs out of their places,
Yeah.
apply attention lifting, and then we eat, and then something from outside may affect us, and we get thrown out. There's an explosion within, somewhere it breaks. But at the first place, often, most of the times, if we're not talking about injuries, conditions which came from outside, it's about tension, energy blockages. And when I understood by fixing in vertebrae, putting there into places, learning how to see that for some person, if we test from two sides, and if we check the tension on the left side or on the right side, it would be different.
Mm.
I was also like that, and my wife used to check me as I was healing myself. She would say, you're not there yet. Still, if you stand, your right shoulder is higher than your left. So
Wow.
all the posture problems, even though we might say, again, do some training, do some yoga, do some everything, this helps. Oh, you're not sitting right. In our age in school, they used to watch for that.
Yes.
Sit straight during writing, even though from a certain perspective, these are habits and can be improved by doing exercises.
Yes.
Absolutely. And for
Yes.
that, at the core, still, from every person that goes out of chiro practitioner who had helped this person, there remains internal tension. There's a
Yeah.
picture of tension, energy blockages, which hold the muscles, strain, affect the blood flow, the nerves are tense. So returning and giving the answer to on my example, the biggest scratching from allergic, from atopic dermatitis, I used to have here. I will open it up. So here I would have this big, when it growed, scar
Wow.
that would be noticeable to people. 7 years ago, it was still there. And
Right.
7 years ago, I still needed to use crema that would ease out and help me, that would give me 3-5 days of
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
relaxation from that. Then I would eat something, even though I'm not a fan of sugar. I don't eat sweets a lot, but still it's not only about sugar. It's about toxins and do additional actions. So
Yeah.
when I have discovered, and now notice my left side here and my left knee left. And there was one of chiropractors whom I have described my health conditions. He said, this is a neurologic issue. It's not a coincidence that you have scar on your left side and your left leg is shorter 1.5 centimeters. They chiropractors, they measure this. So he gave a diagnosis. He said, your left leg is 1.5 centimeters shorter than your right leg. Not because I was born this way. No,
Yeah.
I am ordinary. Everything is right. Just because of internal muscle tension. And it is so strong, and it is always present, no matter how many yoga you do.
Yeah.
I'm getting right now ahead. As good as yoga is, sport, roller blades, bicycle, whatever you choose, if you're having this type, but many people have internal tension, it just manifests differently. And from then on, we have these chronic diseases or that one.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. I mean, in my own journey with my own chronic illness and studying a number of different chronic illnesses over the last few years, it is astounding how every person you speak to has had an emotional traumatic event in their life. And most people have had, difficult moments, but there seems to be an unmistakable connection between emotional tension within the body, and chronic illness and things that just can't be explained. And you're right, we do want to set ourselves up for success. We do want to exercise and eat the right things, but it's not just that. We have to, it's that being in tune with ourselves and reconnecting with ourselves and looking deeper.
Yeah, what you have just said is precisely that. And being a psychic myself and being able to feel the energies and see and feel vibrations in multiple healing experiences, and seeing how this tension gets released, how the muscles move, I can explain what is happening. Our body is a battery, it's a battery which is sending and receiving energy, but also it's a CD, or we would say liquid hard drive, bioenergetic liquid hard drive. The ore is part of our mind. So the mind is not only here.
Yeah.
Body also has memory, and this body and aura records all the nervous, energetic, and emotional. These are one thing.
Yeah.
It records all the states. And some of the tension is surface tension.
Yeah.
We saw a dog, it has barked on us, we got
Yeah.
tense. No matter what we do, the outcome might be different, but if this experience, it has caused nervous activity within this system, within this bio liquid drive, energetic drive. If it was on the surface, we slept, relaxed, and forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yes, this experience has remained still embedded. If we don't take additional action and learn, being able to manage our energy, we can address that issue and release that energy, which will release that tension, which will affect hormonal conditions, nervous system, tension.
Yes.
It's one thing, it's embedded. But if this traumatic experience had been more heavy or repeating, if it's a dog, we don't care. If it's our relative,
Yeah.
this is all within the family. Psychologists are here with us absolutely 100%, because who pisses us off the most?
Absolutely.
Not,
Yes. Yes.
not even the neighbor. When there's a neighbor, and we are angry and we are not managing ourselves and
Yes.
releasing it. But even though it's about some neighbor, the tension, unhappiness, trauma that causes somebody to exactly jump right on him and say, "Ah," it is because there's a lot of internal tension from your previous life and your relatives within family. And
Yes.
when this tension, feelings are heavy energy. They are very powerful. When Reiki people can relate to that, it's very painful for us people with awakened energetic, with psychic abilities or empaths. Uh, it's really painful to be in a room with a person who has a lot of heavy energy within himself.
Yes.
So what it does, and certain, it remains the deep, this tension, emotional, it causes because our nerves produce this energy. This is one whole. This tension that doesn't get released, psychologists do it through talk, or they have a lot of practices. I'm sure in your field you are approaching this exact same issue from your
Yes.
angle,
Yes.
and it immediately strains the nerves. The
Yes.
nerves get strained, they pull the muscles, the organs, everything, and then we are having this type of chronic disease or that type of chronic disease.
Absolutely. And as I study more on the neuroscience side of things and our nervous system and exactly what you're talking about, if an animal in the wild, let's say an antelope is being chased by a lion in the wild, and it manages to escape and it gets to safety. As soon as it gets to safety, it drops down to the ground and it shakes all of that energy out. It gets rid of it. We don't do that. Some people do, and it's an idea for more people to think about. Again, getting in connection with your body. There are somatic practices where you can shake the trauma out. There's a brilliant book called The Body Keeps the Score, which talks about how the body does store trauma. So science is starting to catch up with this aspect of the body that you have been studying. And the sad part about it is, I think it can cause people to disconnect even more with their body. When really what they need to do is they need to go further
Yes,
inwards but
face it.
it's yeah,
it
it's
Everything is done within ourselves.
yeah,
We are built in with this thing, and trauma increases that. We want to disconnect from that. In our tradition, we described it as that traumatic and health conditions cause your attention and presence within your body to retract. So
yes,
you want to disconnect from that. It takes place, it pushes you, and you want to escape, but there's nowhere to escape.
yeah,
What you need
yeah,
to do is the opposite action: release the tension, address, face this issue, but not from because there's protection mechanism built in here.
yes,
Why
yes,
we want to escape? Because we don't want to face this thing that we might not be able to deal with that, and facing this would repeat painful experience. That's why it's important and crucial to approach this from find some healthy space and approach it from not to distance from yourself, but from the healthy wide consciousness, from a healthy, you need to extend and act from a balanced,
yes, yeah,
like a doctor, a good doctor would do. Okay, this is the thing, we need to address it quietly. Don't rush things.
yes,
Okay, yeah,
yes,
we are dealing with this. It is here, and now relax, do your best.
yes.
We will address it. and cut it off.
It's that compassion, isn't it? And actually, you touched upon something really interesting there. They've done some studies on why placebos work. And a lot of times it is just having the experience with a doctor where you feel heard and understood
Yeah.
and connect on that level. That's a huge part of why placebos exist. And it's further confirmation that we have everything within us to heal. And I do think that chronic illnesses are really forcing us to retreat because we haven't built up the emotional resilience to deal with these things that have caused the tension. And so the chronic illness is forcing us to try and let go and release that and heal before we get back into the world. But yeah, it's difficult because for so many people with chronic illness, and you've dealt with this yourself, and I have a lot of friends and myself where, and modern medicine is wonderful for so many reasons, but mysterious illnesses are really not the forte of modern medicine. They want to give you pills for whatever symptoms, and as you say, not get at the root cause. So we all need to become explorers and be curious and try and figure out what the heck is going on. I mean, in my own journey of healing, a huge part of it was releasing that tension, releasing the stress within, healing me emotionally, and then working on the physical aspects at the same time. That's the very definition of a holistic approach, really, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. And I could talk about this for hours, but I do want to hit a couple of other points, because what's so interesting about the music that you do, the name that you go under is healing meditation music. And it is amazing how we can heal through sound. You deal with, I hope I'm going to pronounce this correctly, Solfeggio frequencies. Is that right?
Solfeggio.
Solfeggio and binaural beats. So I know about these. Actually, binaural beats was one of the very first things that helped me get over my insomnia. I had horrible insomnia, and I finally found, I heard about binaural beats, and I was like, I'll try anything. And it really, really helped. And so pretty much all of my hypnotherapy backing tracks are your binaural beats or solfeggio. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that again. So yeah, tell the listeners a little bit about what exactly these are. What are they doing? What's happening? And how did you learn how to produce these?
During my transition from working in computer games industry, which has ended over 10 years ago, I was intrigued and interested, and I was growing and enjoying creating soundscapes, scores, sounds, and making this one live picture. And this exact experience helps me with our collaborations with you. So 10 years ago, I ended my career in computer games, and I worked for hire with different clients all over the world. I did stock music for several years. And then I saw that some people are looking for meditative music. I thought, okay, yeah, surely it's totally my thing. I can make, yeah. And I've been doing meditative music before for stock, but it was just music without binaural beats and solfeggio frequencies. But here they said about some solfeggio frequencies, binaural beats. I thought, okay, I need to read about it. I knew about the channels for many, many years. I knew those channels with millions of views, meditative channels on YouTube. I knew about that, but I wasn't listening to this type of music. And I went on the internet and read, and having by that time a lot of experience in actual healing. I've been using I've been getting in theta brainwave state for years.
Yes.
But then I discovered that there's a mean for that in the field of science and music. I read about it on the internet. So basically, both are frequencies. So let me first talk about solfeggio frequencies. So to put it very simple, there's a scale of notes, but this scale And all this keyboard or any instrument, guitar, is tuned to some root frequency. And from then on, the notes, they just go higher and higher and higher through on a certain intervals in frequency.
Okay.
It's like that, it's normal for music. But what makes the difference? It's 440 hertz, modern standard tuning used in all the turn on the radio, turn on the TV. There will be amazing music in different genres, mostly in 98%, if not 100 of it is in 440 hertz tuning. This means that the root note is vibrating at the speed of 440 hertz frequency. And from then on, the notes go up and down. And it's science, everything is fine. But this whole keyboard can be detuned up or down
Okay.
in between. So if we are, I'll tune it whole step. This doesn't make sense. But if we detune in between half step, up or down, this will be a whole different tuning.
Right.
By our ears, we won't be able to tell. And if a musician, if I will detune this to 432 hertz, which is 440, 432, the difference would be 8.
Right. Yes.
And I would introduce another musician and he would play this keyboard. He wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
Right.
Because it's a tiny, tiny, tiny bit lower.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, what's the point? From my recording days in an actual rock studio, there was a sound engineer, a very professional guy. He recorded bands for years, and he brought this up conversation 15 years ago. I didn't know about that. He would say, oh, people are over obsessing with this 432 hertz. This is stupid. Because he was addressing this issue from a scientific, not from a scientific standpoint. In numbers, it makes difference. But what he would righteously say, this is almost nothing. You won't be able to tell. Or this exact example. Simple person, professional musician, if only he is not very sensitive. And sensitive beyond music, notes, chords, rhythms. This is a different angle to look at the things, because we, as ordinary musicians, we are focusing just on chords, on hitting the right chord, interval, note, getting in tune with everything. But we, and with our mind, we can't tell if this is 440 hertz tuning of this whole keyboard or 432, because the difference is very little. But for people who are aware, who do yoga practices, Reiki, all this stuff, we are able to tell the difference, because it's a vibrations. These are vibrations coming at this thing, at this bio liquid hard drive, which has its own vibrations.
Yes.
And it responds.
Yes.
So by hitting also different heights, notes, the response and vibration within the body is different. And watching by that, feeling that, we are able to tell what exactly. So while I was reading that on the internet, having already years of practical experience, I was able to grasp this immediately.
Yes.
I listened, it feels 432 hertz feels more calming.
Yeah.
Soft. And it's this whole solfeggio scale is the tuning that was used in the Middle Ages.
Ah.
So back then they used for all the orchestra, for all violins, for all instruments, for most, I would say. They used this type of tuning. And what they have discovered is that certain notes correspond to chakras
Right.
within human body, which is yoga, also Reiki, esoteric, healing. If I was to press the same note on a standard tuning, it would not resonate exactly, precisely, and the effect would be a little bit diminished.
Yes, yes. And binaural beats. So just to let the listeners out there know, we have different brainwave states according to our level of alertness. So we've got delta for sleep, we've got alpha and beta while we're awake. The theta brainwave state is so magical, though, because that is the state that we're in meditation and yoga nidra and hypnosis as well. So I'll let you explain what exactly is happening there.
Yeah, so with binaural beats, it's another type of frequency. So binaural beats can also be rooted to a note. Binaural beat can be rooted to the same root chakra. But if I was to detune the left one from 396 to 394, and the right one from 396 to 398, they would immediately start oscillating differently. It's a moving thing from the left to the right. So what I have described would be the difference between left and right channel would be 4 hertz.
Yes.
But these are hertz of interaction, the frequency of oscillation between these two notes. So this is the other type of frequency. But both can be still mixed into the Solfeggio frequency track for heart chakra, for root chakra, for any chakra. And while left and right channel, because when we hear that different signal of slightly different heights, which oscillates at certain frequency, our brain starts entraining and repeating this speed, because what is happening all the time, oscillation between left hemisphere and right hemisphere, which corresponds to our awakened state, activity, sleep, how awakened, how alert we are. So using binaural beats, we are able to change and put ourselves into different modes, which are defined by nature.
It's fascinating, isn't it? For most people, it's imperceptible what's happening. Just to let people know who maybe haven't experimented with this. When I first heard this, I thought, "Ooh, that sounds like it's not going to be pleasant at all if there's two different beats going on." But it's not something that's readily noticeable for most people. You can listen to it on speakers, but you get the most effect when you listen with headphones.
With music and mixed in, I take a lot of time, tests, and listening. Part of the reason why my music sounds the way it sounds, and why through the years I've been doing this, specializing in meditative music for 4 years. And it has been my focus. Not only I have built the library of myself, and hundreds of teachers from around the world use this music, and I'm getting emails from, I'm a certified hypnotherapist, and I find your music precisely serving my needs. And I get questions from people in the industry, questions about licensing my music. And I have been also working with some known companies, actually companies with $1 million revenue happening in there. So I know some people in USA.
Right. Well, yeah,
USA, I mean, I got to know via Zoom calls some legends, some stars in USA scene of health development, meditation, and all this.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I mean, it's so helpful for me as a hypnotherapist. I want to get my client into the theta brainwave state, and you can do that without music, but adding the music in is just, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you use everything, all of the tools that you have to get somebody fully immersed in that in that theta brainwave state? And so your music does that beautifully, and I'm so pleased. I've just realized it is time for the pickle of destiny. So we've got a random question sent in by a listener. And all those listeners out there, please send in your questions for our guests. The email address is tenaciousbepodcast@gmail.com. Send in your questions for our guests. So today's pickle of destiny is, when was the last time you surprised yourself, and what was the surprise?
Oh my God. Surprised myself. I don't even know in which sphere of life.
I know it's putting you on the spot because there's so many different ways. I love finding out something new about myself or surprising myself. It seems to happen almost daily.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Since I'm mostly focused on my work, music production and promoting and everything, and it just goes, even though I'm really enjoying a muse occasionally would visit me, and some track would start to write itself from a certain point, and I'm kind of like being present and observing.
Amazing. So
Yeah,
so yeah, that is such a common thing with artists. I don't mean to interrupt you. I want you to complete that thought, but yet that you feel as if you are just a conduit, that you aren't actually creating this, that you're actually receiving something and you are just allowing it to flow through you.
yeah. But you need to tune yourself to the right frequency, vibration, and in the same time, at a certain point, be absent and be
Yes.
an observer as well, and let many great musicians say, I'm letting God speak through me, or Ray Charles, or some guys from the jazz world had said that, and I have stumbled upon this and thought how exactly and precisely he described. Yeah, so actually, I think it would be the answer. Several years ago, while composing music for TV, for suspenseful criminal documentaries and stuff, this exact thing happened. And it was really surprising. And from a certain point, I started with some rhythms, with some chords, with some notes. So how it works. You build the track, the music, or a song up to a certain point, you set the foundation.
Mm,
You just take chords. It can be banal, pretty much. You don't need to invent. In music world, hardly anything can be invented.
yeah.
You start and it starts, might, if you're lucky, it starts to sound interesting. And from then on, it shifts you. You start to play melodies, test different variations in my example. Oh, it becomes even more interesting, even more. And then you let go of the mind and empty yourself. You become an observer and let your physicality and emotional and brain do what this body tells you, what
Yeah.
your mind tells you, and you attune yourself. You open this thing, and I finished it very quickly.
Yeah.
From a certain point, it has finished itself. I needed just to capture. You start to hear the melodies, where it could develop. I would sing in my head by hearing the root harmonic arrangement structure. The melodies would pop up in my head. I would jump on them immediately, not to lose them,
Yes.
to pick up load and new. I would say, okay, this to me, because you need to translate it. If what you hear in your head doesn't get embedded on a CD, doesn't get burned,
Yeah.
should be a timbre instrument you have in the library, which sounds close to that, which might do same movement, articulation, and everything. So basically, I was in a deep meditative state, and I needed just to load a new instrument and wait, and then okay, jump. I need to something. It could be in this part. It would be something like that. I would drop that there to be able to then when this session talking is over, to get back and revise and improve technical details.
Ah,
And this track, not only it was my perception that this track was significant, but went viral. People just resonated to this stuff, and 4 years later, it has around 100,000 views.
wow. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
And I've had same things with meditative stuff as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, I want to hit upon this. I know we're kind of running over, so thanks for allowing us to go this long. Just quickly, before we get down to business and cultivate the witness with the meditation, I find it so fascinating that you have talk about balance. You really have two sides working with you for your music. So you've got the meditation music, but you're also writing music for crime
Yeah.
shows and things. So like the darker side. So you've got the light and the dark, and that is the completeness of the human experience, to embrace the light and the dark within us. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
amazing.
we can compare it to different things, a plus and a minus
Yeah.
in physics, and the movement, the electric flow is a movement from the minus to a plus. It's a breath in and a breath out.
Yes.
Our life starts with the breath in and ends with the breath out, and in between, while we are breathing, we are receiving and sending the energy. This pumps the blood, and this whole wheel is rotating. So yeah, this is on many levels, on many, because by going different routes in my music production career, it was interesting for me, but at certain points I needed to go into this field or into that field. But having this experience as it is, I found it very refreshing and helpful because if I compose meditative music too much, I get stuck. It's
Yes.
a right. I don't precisely get writer's block, because I have overcome that many years ago and developed to this stage where I can be tired. I can this can think, but I still can produce music, and people will be licensing, and it will be doing its thing. It's more for my own freshness,
Yes.
and then for I would give myself a vacation, a week, maybe 2 weeks, and I would switch back to doing the opposite and come there refreshing, and again, wow, some instruments, some tone. Oh, this is totally different, and you get you
Yes.
turn on
Yes. Well,
precisely.
because, when we create, we are making the internal external. So you are making space for every different part within you, all the joy and the harmony, but also the sorrow and other aspects, and finding the beauty and all of that. And I mean, that's really ultimate goals that we should all really be seeking. And I think really important for the artists out there listening, if you are focusing on a lot of dark feelings, that is great, but try and balance that out a bit by exploring your lightness, and vice versa. If you are only exploring the lightness within, start exploring that, give that darkness a voice, because when we do that, it releases that tension. It helps us to connect with every aspect of ourself. Yeah, beautiful.
It's a good message for some people in enlightenment, self-development scene, because exactly this time. Because when people get to yoga, whatever, positivity, raising your vibration, raising your energy, at a certain point, there's a risk of becoming unnaturally positive.
We call
And
that toxic positivity.
yeah,
Yes.
toxic positivity,
Yeah.
suppressing your, sometimes it's okay to be angry.
Yes. Yes.
Anger must not be your root vibration. If you're angry all the time through
Yes.
life, or you feel sorrow or some heavy, if it becomes your root vibration for, and you're mostly this, then it's a problem.
Yes.
But if you're mostly positive, it's okay for me to be angry and do some stuff when it's needed at this precisely small part, size, shape, and manifestation as it is needed. And then you get back.
Yes, yes. I mean, we don't, that's the power of problems are a beautiful thing. And feeling uncomfortable is usually a moment for us to learn, a moment for us to grow. So we want to explore our feelings and acknowledge our feelings so that we can understand what's going on. And I suppose that's a big theme of today, is about really getting to the heart of things, understanding things. We are both seekers of trying to figure things out.
Yeah.
And so on that note, I think it's time to get down to business and cultivate the witness. So cultivating the witness we do at the end of each podcast, and this is either a guided meditation or a yoga nidra or a guided hypnosis. Now, I have yet to do a yoga nidra or a hypnosis yet on the podcast, and I think I will at some point, but I think we're going to stick with a meditation today. You were going to play live with us, but unfortunately, technology had other ideas.
Yeah.
But people can find you, before we get started, let's let people know where they can find you. They can find you on YouTube under Healing Meditation Music. Insight Timer as well. You're doing some live, you've got your music on there, but you also do live events on Insight Timer as well. Are you on Spotify as well?
Yeah, all across all the streaming platforms under the name of Healing Meditation Music.
Excellent, excellent, good stuff. So yes, I'm not sure which backing track we're going to use for this meditation. I haven't chosen that yet. To all those people out there, the music gets produced when I finish the podcast, and I add in the music at the end, but it will be one of your beautiful tracks. So everybody, please, if you are driving or operating heavy machinery, please make sure to pause the recording and come back to it when you can come into stillness. And if everyone can just find a comfortable position, allowing your body to relax and settle into the space beneath you. And when you are ready, feel free to gently close your eyes and take a deep breath in through your nose, filling your lungs with fresh, invigorating air, and exhaling slowly through your mouth, releasing any tension or stress that may be lingering within. And really feel the rhythm of your breath, flowing in and out, a sacred dance of life and connection. Good, that's right. Now imagine yourself surrounded by a serene landscape. It could be a lush forest or garden or a beautiful beach. Feel the warmth of the sun on your skin, the gentle breeze brushing against your face, and the earth beneath your feet, grounding you in this present moment. As you tune into the rhythms of nature, feel a sense of harmony and balance wash over you. Allow yourself to become one with the natural world, recognizing that you are an integral part of the interconnected web of life. Now, shifting your awareness inward, bringing your attention to the gentle rhythm of your breath. With each inhale, imagine drawing in healing energy from the universe, filling every cell of your body with light and vitality. And as you exhale, release any tension or discomfort, letting go of anything that no longer serves you. Continuing to breathe deeply and rhythmically, allowing the natural flow of your breath to guide you into a state of deep relaxation and inner peace. With each breath, feel yourself sinking deeper and deeper into a profound sense of calm and tranquility. Can you focus on the power of this beautiful and healing music you are now experiencing to uplift and heal the soul? Imagine this soothing melody which fills the air around you, wrapping you in a cocoon of sound and vibration. Allow this music to wash over you and through you, penetrating deep into your being and resonating with the essence of your true self. As you experience this beautiful music, feel its healing energy infusing every cell of your body, restoring balance and harmony to your mind, body, and spirit. Allow yourself to surrender to the music, trusting in its ability to guide you on your journey of healing and self-discovery. As we connect deeper within, repeating silently inside these blessings for yourself. I am worthy of love and healing. My body has the innate ability to heal itself. I am a vessel of light and positivity. I trust in the wisdom of my body to guide me towards optimal health and well-being. Feel the truth of these affirmations resonating within you, empowering you to embrace your innate capacity for healing and transformation. That's right. Can you bring your attention now to the rhythm of your breath? Without trying to alter the breath in any way, just your natural occurring breath. With each inhale, can you imagine breathing in through the crown of your head, drawing in pure healing energy from the universe, allowing it to flow freely through your body? And as you exhale, can you imagine breathing out through your heart space? Visualize releasing any stagnant energy or negativity, allowing it to dissipate into the ether. Continuing this rhythmic breathing, inhaling deeply through the crown of your head and exhaling gently through your heart space. With each breath, feel yourself becoming more aligned with the healing energy of the universe, tapping into the infinite wellspring of vitality and renewal that resides within each and every one of you. That's right. As we begin to reorient ourselves back to our surroundings, just take a few more moments to bask in the glow of this healing energy. this healing music, allowing it to permeate every aspect of your being. And whenever you're ready, you can feel free to gently open your eyes and return to the present moment, carrying with you a deep sense of peace, renewal, and connection to the healing power that resides within each and every one of you. Namaste. Alexander, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. This has just been such an epic journey with you. Thank you so much for being such a fascinating light in this world. I'm so glad that we've managed to connect, and I'm sure this will just be the first of many conversations that we have on this podcast. I want to bring you back on at some point. So thank you so much.
Thank you too. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure. And I'm delighted always to share my experience when it is needed, and hopefully it improves somebody's life. I'm also for that.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
If I could sing or play an instrument for you, I would sing and play an instrument for you. If I could dance for you, I would dance for you. If I could paint for you, I would paint for you. But my thing is words. But the problem about words is that you may listen to them.
And that would be a mistake.